Hey guys, I just went to my local nursery and I picked up a couple of Boston ferns and I did my best. I did my best to pick out the nicest ones. But you ever go to your nursery and you pick out a fern and you want to get it home because there's nothing that screams summer to me like seeing a beautiful Boston fern on your front porch or your back porch. But when I got them home, they were looking a little sad. So I wanted to show you exactly what I do when I bring my ferns home. You can see it's not looking too bad, but there are a few pieces of burnt leaves, burnt and dry leaves. And this one is looking a little crunchy and a little sad. But overall, the plant is not in bad condition. What I do look for is that there's some new fronds growing, and there are. Yeah, this is looking a little crunchy. Look at that. So just like we need nutrients for our bodies to thrive and be healthy, so do our plants. And one nutrient that's really good for ferns is magnesium. So I'm going to use some Epsom salt and I'm going to put it into make a little Epsom salt bath for them and watch them come back to life. So one thing that you can do is cut off any damaged leaves, like this one up here. All right, so next I'm going to make an Epsom salt bath for the plants, and I'm going to use a gallon of water to like a tablespoon of Epsom salt. All right, so I have here a tub, and I'm just going to pour in, actually I'm just going to sprinkle in like a tablespoon of Epsom salt. I'm making a mess, but I'm going to give it a good swirl just to make sure it is dissolved. So guys, basically the Epsom salt gives our plants magnesium and sulfur. So that's what helps them to get the chlorophyll, which gives them their vibrant, beautiful green leaves. So guys, I purposefully did not cut these little handles off because that way I can hold them. Now you're going to know that your plant is losing hydration or needs to be hydrated because it's so light, right? That means that the root ball down here in the bucket is dry. So it needs some hydration. So what I'm going to do is just literally dunk it into there, into that pot of water, into this bucket of water. So you want to get a bucket that's big enough for your root ball to sit in it. Thing else you can do is turn if you have a water nozzle like this, water hose nozzle, turn it to mist, and you can mist your plant. They love a good mist. Guys, I am absolutely making a mess. But this bucket is too heavy to carry all the way to the garden. So I'm doing the best I can. There we go. There we go. When we look at the fertilizer bags, they have an NPK. That's nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So our plants really need those three. But they also need magnesium and calcium to thrive. So I'm going to show you some other plants that are in the garden that are vegetables that also need some magnesium. Yes, tomatoes absolutely love magnesium. Not too much. I grow indeterminate cherry tomatoes and they produce like crazy. So guys, as I mentioned, I grow indeterminate cherry tomatoes. And the reason being is I've grown determinate ones before, so they just kind of grow in a mound and they produce one time. And these The indeterminates really they vine and they just keep pushing out cherry tomatoes all season, actually on into the fall for me. So because they produce so much, I will give them a little Epsom salt water once a month. Well, other plants that I like to give it to, one is peppers. These are jalapenos, and you can see they have flowers on them, so they're about to start producing. And as soon as they do, I'm going to give them some as well. Epsom salt is just one of those items that has been used for decades by our parents, grandparents, great grandparents, and it's so inexpensive. It's under $5 for a bag. So drop a comment and let me know, what is your favorite way to use Epsom salt? Because I know I like to soak my feet in it. I even put it in the bath sometimes. So, guys, as always, I hope that this was helpful and happy gardening. I will see you in the next video.